to buy a truck and you're looking to buy a 99 through 07 classic Silverado, let's say. So, as you can see behind me, I have my 2004 Chevy Cat Eye Silverado, as they're well known for having, that cat eye front look. Today I'm going to basically make a short video on what to look out for when buying a truck. We can generalize this as used trucks in general, but this is kind of going to be more of the 99 through 07 body style issues. We'll say issues. Whenever you're buying a certain vehicle, BMW, anything else like that, they all have a whole bunch of issues, but they have a lot of issues specific to them. So you can kind of get a rough idea of what you're walking into, what to look for. This is not saying that there's not outlying issues. I've ran into a few outlying issues with some of the trucks I've bought that I was like, I never even expected that to happen. But we're going to start from the front and kind of work our way back. So the front, again, this kind of all depends on how the vehicle's been treated, so you get a really good idea of how the owner was, but front bumper is almost always dented in some spot. Running into something, tree, deer, anything of that sort, always seems to have an issue. I think this is one of the two, I think this is actually the only Chevy I've owned that the front bumper did not have an issue. But other than that, whatever, front bumper, $100, $150 depending on where you are. Down south it does get a little different for stuff. It can be a higher price, lower price. I believe down south it's actually a little bit cheaper, but I'm not positive on that. I live up in Wisconsin, so you're also going to get some information about wonderful Wisconsin trucks. But moving on to, obviously, tires. Look at your tires, but that's kind of a general aspect. These are about half tread. Front fenders on these trucks, especially if they have front fender flares. But not only if they have front fender flares, if they have anything in general, check for rust right under here where the front fender kind of meets the fender well. Driver's side I think is rusted out. I'm not sure on this one. I can't remember it at the moment. But I just felt this passenger one, and it's still solid. But yes, check under the fuse box, underneath, stick your head in there, put your hand in there, feel around for rust, see if you have anything. You never know. You might not. And then we're going to jump kind of down into this area. Any truck above the snow belt or rust belt, rockers are probably going to be gone. You can do them yourself for $500 to $1,000, but most rockers and cap corners are going to be gone, along with the lower part of the fender is probably going to be gone. Surprisingly, this one's not. I've had two trucks, they both did. And then cap corners are almost always gone. The other thing you guys have seen on my other video, but the lower portion of the door, basically anything in this area will probably be gone. This one actually had a huge hole in the other door, so I completely replaced the door. But door seals and everything really like to leak and obviously rust. But other than that, moving on. Mirrors. This is very, very owner situation, but try to check to make sure that the mirrors are both powered. You can take off there's a little plastic piece you just watched in probably my last video I'll post, and I think I'll post these two separate videos. But basically, there's a little plastic, just pop that off real quick, check to make sure there's a wire coming out of it. If there's at least a wire coming out of it, you can work with it from there. You might still have to order a new mirror, but I've owned 2 or 3 of these Chevys now, and they all seem to have either a mirror that's not plugged in, or a manual mirror was swapped out for a power mirror. Doesn't make sense to me, is what it is though. Can't really do much about it. Moving along to rocker area, this is not rockers, but rocker area. Driver's side, check brake line and fuel lines. The fuel filter, which is about between the back door of the cab and the bedside, there's a fuel filter in there, inline fuel filter, and it likes to rust out just over time. This one is going. I have to check and make sure that it's not going too far gone, that I have to replace it, or I can sell it with it. I'll still probably replace it, knowing that is a common issue. Brake lines like to break typically towards the rear, but kind of anywhere. Not that fun to replace at all. but sometimes that's just what has to be done. They're super common up here in Wisconsin with all the trucks I've owned and all the trucks I've heard about, but that is one big one that I know happens almost everywhere. And then, let's see, you have, this one has a MAF sensor thing, but I don't think that's very common. What is the other one? Obviously, check out your check engine lights. Power steering on these sometimes is known to have an issue. Power steering can get really tight at low RPMs. Sometimes the RPMs just bog down, and you know, this thing has super tight power steering to the point where you can barely turn it. It doesn't even feel like the power steering actually works. But you know, that's just what we have. So, and then moving on to the bed, same thing applies for the rust on the fenders. Check all the bed sides, especially if they have fender flares. They've probably started to rust out or are completely gone. And then try and see if you can get under there. Well, I mean, don't really try, but make sure you get under there and check. Make sure that the bed isn't completely rusted out. If it has a bed liner, try and have them pull up the bed liner or whatever. Check the bed liner. Make sure that there's no rust underneath the bed liner and in between the bed. That'll make anything you have to do fixing the bed wise miserable. If there is the fuel gauge is all over the place, you'll have to replace your fuel sending unit, and you'll either want to jack up the bed to replace it, or hopefully the tank straps aren't completely broken and you can take off the tank straps and put the tank straps back on when you drop it, after you pick up the tank again. Last thing that I've kind of noticed owning these trucks is the rear bumper always seems to be dented and rusted. Again, we get rust up here, so those are kind of the really big things if you're looking. Like I said, brake line and fuel lines are huge. Lifter tick is a big one. Manifolds breaking bolts or leaking, which typically is from breaking bolts or bolts getting loose. Those are a mother trucker to get off, so good luck if you have those broken. Other than that, your simple things apply. Check wheels, tires, brakes. Make sure that the transmission's good. The 4L60E has some issues, well-known issues with the transmission. This one has first and second, kind of hits hard. So I have to replace a solenoid in there, I believe is what it's called. I'll have to look it up to be for sure. But that is kind of your general idea of what you're looking for when you buy a Chevy truck. Obviously, we all know that buying a 18 or 20 or 22-year-old truck, whatever time you're seeing this video, they're gonna have issues. I mean, dented, scratched. These things are huge work trucks. From anyone from working construction, electrical, hauling things. Some people still use them for hauling things. Some people use them for, you know, hunting. Your 17-year-old kid might get it. Who knows who's gonna get it? But those are the common issues. So if you guys found this video helpful, I know I kind of spit a whole bunch of it out, but that's just kind of me listing off what I know about this truck and what I know to look out for people who are looking. But that is the number one, or the list of issues that I have. And I'll try and list them at the end of this video, kind of in most common order, most to least seen. We'll see how far I get on that, but that's about it, all I have for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found the information useful. If you're gonna go look for a truck that's this year, or this body style or anything, try and watch this video and see if it helps. If it does, let me know. But yeah, this one is not gonna get anything cool done to it. It's pretty much just, I'm fixing it up and I'm sending it back down the road. I'm saving up and we're getting a awesome flip truck, or awesome show truck. We're gonna build a show truck. So if you guys want to stick around and see more content on my YouTube from my Subaru, my Mini, or whatever trucks and projects I bring in along the way, make sure to like and subscribe. I do promise you that the content is getting much better here soon. The Subaru is getting a whole bunch of parts in, everything else. So I work on cars, trucks, and pretty much anything in between on the YouTube channel. I'm not one or the other, but you know, we'll never know what the future holds. So like I said, if you guys found this video helpful, please leave a comment or a like or anything, and just let me know. So I'm going to be here for a long time, and I'm excited to make more content. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.